Fucking hell. Now that, I mean, if I'm not going to touch that, but you see what I mean? Hello everyone, welcome to the Tech Talks YouTube channel and probably Instagram as well. Welcome to my latest purchase. Now, as you can see, it's interesting already. You've got some nice old school features here. I mean, look at this door. I mean, this is old school when people were smaller, I believe. If we just turn the camera around quickly, we can show people we actually have a really nice, mature garden. Little bird box. I don't know what, I think it's like a pine tree perhaps. But this is the garden space. I won't take you down to the end of it just yet because it's just a long strip. But if we look over here, this is actually a property that I was looking at buying at auction, but it went for about 6 grand more than I'd like. And again, cute features. I mean, I don't know if they put a spirit level on that or if it's waterproof, but nice little wisteria that seems to be coming out. And of course, we've got the shed here with mad structural issues. You know what? Let's take them down there because there's a really fun structural issue. I don't know if structural issues are fun, but come and have a look at this. Now I've seen some crack before, and I do love a good crack. Have a look at that, mate. Fucking hell. Now that, I mean, if I'm not going to touch that, but you see what I mean? But fortunately, my property doesn't actually have any real significant cracks. It's got a few lintel issues, right, on the lintels, but nothing else. An interesting thing about this property is the door ends here, but the garden is there. So it's kind of a bit of a, it's a shared path, but you got to kind of walk out into it. And this is something that wouldn't be seen on the title deed. You'd have to view it to realise this. It's not the end of the world, and it's kind of a quirk of these older properties. And as you can see, really nice old brick, which is not in the worst condition. You've definitely had worse. Over here, of course, we have our COVID corner for the hand sanitizers, which they kindly left for me. Cheers, auctioneers. Single glazed windows with people dancing on. These are all going to be replaced for UPVC like-for-like windows because basically we want the EPC to be a decent rating. It's not a rental, but when people are buying nowadays, they're more aware of these things. So it's important that that's going to be changed because we come in, we are using electric radiators. So, that will damage the EPC a little bit. Currently, it has electric storage heaters, and this is how we get hot water in the property. So, marvelous plumbing. As you can, it's painted, it matches. I mean, someone put some effort in here. And of course, if you've never bought a house before, then be ready for the recycling that's going to come your way. Someone else will remove that. Now, as you can see, I'm actually quite. I'm 6'10", so this is obviously a super high ceiling. But this is going to be not an issue because it's not short enough, but it's an issue for putting wall units on because it will really make the space feel small. So fortunately, we've got cupboards here with a hole in it. Great. We've got cupboards in here. And this is the old chimney breast. That fireplace, I don't know what y'all think, but that's ugly. That's going. And I mean, these kitchen units, they, don't know what is going on here, but someone sort of used floor tile or something on top of these units. The aim, you'll see this as the build progresses. Cooker here, extractor fan, units, nice sink. It's going to be a shaker style kitchen. COVID test, that's good. And if we kind of maybe look at this area here, this is actually really useful because there's no space for appliances there really. So here will be cobwebs. So here will be the fridge. I'm the fridge freezer, and here will be the washing machine thing. Fortunately, there's existing pipework here, and the external wall is there for waste. So this is a good place to put a washing machine. And as you can see, nice, I don't know if they're original, but nice, what are they called, beams across. Now, the house is kind of split across 2 levels on both upstairs and downstairs, so it's funky. But as you come in here, watch your head. I've disappeared into the wall. So this is dining room, lounge, whatever you want to call it, and interesting colour scheme. LA Lakers, purple and yellow kind of thing going on here. And if we look up, a nice old beam, painted in yeah, quite a nice classic black colour. That is staying as a historical feature. There's no reason to do anything with it, and it's structural. So look at that. In here we've got some nice cupboards. Now this is a thing I think a lot of us property investors forget. Wow, that looks interesting. Is that what about space to keep stuff? Because this is not a huge space, but it's nice to be able to put stuff in here, right? And I believe we're probably going to keep these doors and just redo them because they're part of the feature. This fireplace is just, I mean, some things are historical and cute. This is just ugly. Whatever that like, old thing in there is, there's like a back boiler, but it can't be. But I don't know what it is. That is going. That's from 1986. So if anyone wants a vintage piece of metal, then come and get it. And if we go through here, this is the stairs thing, which again, it's a small house. You see these things quite easily. We come into like an awkward landing, corridor thing. So if we zoom into here, this wall here, I'm pretty sure is not load bearing, but of course get a structural engineer to check, please don't just remove walls. This will be removed, so it'll kind of create an open space here where, yeah, there'll still be a door there and an opening there for the bathroom, but it'll just open up this whole room, which as you can see, is not tiny. It is a decent size. Old storage heater, wallpaper came off because, it's coming off anyway. There you can see, ooh, this is fun. Quite cathartic that, I quite like it. In there is an old RCD box from 2005, I believe, not up to standards, and thankfully the owners left me with some debt. So actually, before I leave, I need to get that cleared. That's another thing, people, sort your electricity and gas and utilities out early because, oh God, if you ever called a utility company, they take the absolute piss and you've been on the phone for hours. So get that shit cleared. Now, the tenant before thought that there was damp, and I think they came along and investigated. The fact that it's crumbling makes me think, well, either they hacked it off, or maybe there was damp. In a property of this age, you'd expect to see something, but, there is a bit of crumpling, but generally speaking, rising damp in this property is not so evident, but once we hack that off, we'll investigate and see. And I don't know if the camera can see, but there's actually a doorway here. You can kind of see either side of me, these lines, alright? So this and next door would have been one property before, because there's a door upstairs. And it makes sense, because there's like a flying freehold, which people may not have noticed. See, on the auction viewing. Let me take you out front real quick. Well, okay, I'm not going to say too much about this, pending legal discussion, but this is the back/front of the house. If you listen, it's incredibly peaceful. You can meditate here, very nice. Little yoga class out here. We won't talk about that yet, but if we just look at the house itself, really nice features, right? Nice roof tiles, old windows, the bars in which will be replaced like for like, because I think it's important. Nice stone seals which will be cleaned up and painted. So I was saying really nice historical features back there, and if we just look at this tree, it's a small detail here, if we just kind of look around us, we are actually, it feels like we're pretty rural, it feels like we're in the countryside, which technically we are-ish, but town is 5-10 minute walk, and we're off a kind of private drive off the main road, and actually there's a new build estate on the other side of that main road, so it's a really nice location to get this peace and quiet. You can still hear town a little bit, but to still feel like you're rural. So it's got a lot of pros, also got a lot of cons, as any house does, and especially a house that has character. That house next door sold for £171,000. I paid £141 for this one. They're pretty much the right kind of prices. This is a 2-bed, that's a 3-bed. It also has a pond, that's the fucking selling point, but it has some sort of annex there, which is where the crack is. And that could be used as a home office or something. But this is the back/front of the house. So as we go back in, you'll notice these doors are somewhat historic. Now, they're not necessarily going to be the most energy efficient, but they definitely add character to what is a character property. This will be changed because, It's not very nice. So watch your head as we come down into here awkwardly. In here we have a rather large bathroom. Given the size of the property, there's a full-size, I mean it looks bigger than a full-size bath. There's the toilet, the basin, and that's actually brick painted. This is paneling, that needs to come off. And in here, now see, my master vision was to make this into a shower cubicle, but upon further discussion, unnecessary. So this is pretty much going to be where the new unvented water cylinder is going to sit. So potentially some of this pipework may be able to stay, as long as it's good and it's sealed and it's, you know, the plumber is happy with it. It could potentially stay, because that is a grey electric wire. So this is not an old installation. You know, the previous landlord didn't really look after the tenants here, and who knows how they had water, who knows, right? But this is a really nice space to put it. Obviously, if there was gas here, but we in the country, no gas, you would put a combi boiler in here, which makes a lot of sense. So in terms of this, we're probably looking at a P-shaped or an L-shaped bath, little shower there. Basin, I think to move it over there. Toilet, it's got that old concrete bloody waste coming out of the ground. That is a big ass spider or fly, damn. We'll move that potentially, but probably not, because it's all set up there already quite nicely. And again, the ceiling, it is low, and because of that, we're having spotlights in it. So 6 spotlights arranged across here. Maybe some above the shower directly. I think that'd be quite nice. Now, if we turn around and look behind here, this, and actually the depth of it, is empty. So, you know, there's no chimney breast and there's nothing structural we can see. So we'll put a hole in there and just see what the hell's behind it. Because if it's literally just studded for no reason, there's always a reason, like studs hide things, then, as well as being a coat rack, this could be a nice bit of usable space. Again, more cupboards, something, right? A small piece that will add value, at least in the mind of a buyer. So if we come through again and watch your head, you will head back around into the kitchen and up the stairs. So, again, as you can see, old plastic door, you know, yes, insulation, you know, I can see the bloody light is potentially an issue, but if we can get someone to restore it and maybe sort the freaking locks out, you know, again, it's a kind of feature piece. Someone buying this house is not going to be here for handleless kitchens and new. They're going to be here because they like this stuff, you know, and they find that cute. And then this door, for example, you know, I've had a property with this kind of door before. We just kept it. We just restored it and kept it, because that's what people are looking for. Bloody hell, that's not smart, is it? Now, again, watch your head going up here, but if we head up the stairs, we've got, you know, previous damp or stuff happening here. There we go, start the strip out. And here we have the smallest room, which, you know, for all intents and purposes, you could fit a double bed in here, and a desk, and some storage. Yes, of course, this is a bit irritating, and there's a sort of, I don't know, a feather there, so maybe there's some sort of magic or some sort of art going on, I don't know. Small window, but if I was a kid, oh, it'd be perfect height. So, you know, there's some character here. Hook for your clothes. Chimney breast is certainly leaking because it is wet, and if you have to look the camera at the dark colour, you can see that because it's darker, it's probably still leaking. There's not much mould though, but there are brown spots, so this will come off, and we'll investigate. I think the chimney might need capping, or the mortar might need redoing, or new LED flashing. I don't even know if it has any, but hey, call it quirky. Now again, more steps into this room, which this is the biggest room. No, there isn't a huge amount of light in here. Again, the classic single glazed timber windows, which are going to be replaced. Which, yeah, maybe they're letting more light, I don't know. But the reason for this, and then, you know, big up the people who were here before, spotlights in every bedroom. So Andy Camp, who's filming the camera, suggested this, and also Mackenberg, because, you know, realistically, you look at this, right, and this is why multiple brains really help. Yes, I'm not tiny, but, you know, even if you're average height, this could be a problem. So spotlights will really help the issue of that lack of natural light, open the room up a lot, and make it feel bigger than it is. So yeah, it is going to cost more, but I think it's one of those things where with a flip, you want someone to walk in and just say, either I hate it, I don't like it, or yeah, I like it, no problem. You don't want people to say, oh, it's nice, but what about this? Or I think, this stuff, it's something to get done. And as an investor who wants to save money and make money, it can be hard to kind of go against that when you're thinking, well, I've got to spend this. Trust me, when it comes to flips, I've not spent the money, and it was a bad decision. So a quick rundown of the figures, which I'll put in the notes as well. 141k purchase, sort of 5, 6, 7k fees. So let's say all in for about 150. The refurb, it is looking like anywhere from sort of 25 to 35, depending on the spec. I think it'll be somewhere in the middle. I factored in 33k, including the contingency, so hopefully 30k. I might be doing it trade by trade, which means that price might be on the lower end, but irrespective, let's call it 33. Interest cost to my investors, because I have put zero money into this deal. Yes, it is possible. Funded by one of my return investors, actually. Funded a few hours after I purchased it, got a text. I was actually with the cameraman somewhere else, and I got the text saying, yep, I'll fund it. And it was as easy as that. But obviously it's taken months to get to that stage. And the end value is anywhere from 230 to 245. I think we're probably looking at 230 because of the kind of size of it and the fact that it's quirky, so it won't be to everyone's taste. I actually spoke to a local agent who said now he thinks it's a steal in terms of the price I got it at. He thinks he could sell it now for 170 grand, especially in this market. So there's potentially another exit route there. And what I always say, if you purchase right and at a low price, then you've already got your margin factored in from day one, and you can make profit just with a paperwork exercise. So it's something to think about. People call it property trading if you do it at volume, but obviously